Hello, everybody. First of all, I want to thank the IFAS team for this kind invitation, and I'm impressed on how I was here last year, and I'm impressed how this conference is evolving every year, and with new people from around the world. I want to talk about the Argentinian market, and the subject is beyond oil and gas, because I'm originally come from the oil and gas industry, and in 2008 I created Hinsilblon with the intention of start developing the renewables energy market and solid waste in Argentina, and in 2009 we started working with IFAS for the conclusion of different projects in the country. First, I'd like to introduce some general information about the country. I just want to highlight we have a population of 40 million inhabitants, and most of it is mainly centralized in the Buenos Aires area and surroundings, with almost a third of the population is living in that area. When you see, we will have a 2.8 million square kilometers area. One other subject is regarding the economy. We had an important crisis in 2001, after which we had a devaluation, then a time of stability, and now we are suffering a little bit inflation again, with the percentages between 20 and 30%, and unemployment is another weakness of the economy. Regarding the political and economic situation, we are governed by a Peronist party, which is a populist-oriented party, and it's been currently re-elected for 4 additional years, and even though they are oriented to more populism, they are giving more signals to the market regarding political and economic stability to encourage private investment. After this crisis and a default that we suffered in 2002, today the international crisis is not hitting that much because of that subject. I already mentioned about the inflation, and government is taking some actions in order to reduce this inflation, tempering the union's claims, and also trying to compensate the economy, which is mainly dependent on export of grains, in order to encourage the investment in production. Today, as you know, the financial markets are suffering the crisis in Europe, so are more oriented to Latin America and Asia, and the idea of the government is to take advantage of that loans that are to come to the region, obviously taking into account that Brazil is the driving force of the region. Just a glance on the municipal solid waste. As this is a common denominator, we have an increasing population and obviously a booming of consumption, and waste is not under control. Only in the Buenos Aires area, we are generating 70,000 tons per day, which mainly are sent to a local landfill that you will see in the next slides. The role of the informal sector is important, as in all the region, and today, before recycling for the planet, for them is recycling for surviving. So that's important to take into consideration. There is a lack of information, and there is some information at a municipal level, but at national level only now are working to start gathering some information. Municipalities are suffering seriously the influence of the waste in their budgets. More than 20% of the budget is allocated to only collection and disposal of waste, and there is a very low level of primary segregation and education in population in order to sorting waste. As mentioned, only now the National Secretary of Environment, which is the entity that rules all issues related to waste and renewable energies, is taking a more aggressive position regarding these subjects. And also at municipal level, we need to break the paradigm of magic technological solutions that they are offered, and since they think in the short term and in the impact in the political good news, they don't care about the long term. That's one of the main problems in our country. Here you can see the status of what is this is like a deja vu. You will see all the other presentations. This is a typical open dump. We had thousands of them in the country. Some other municipalities are trying to control that, mainly but with surveillance and restricted access to the informal sector. And also, the main cities had landfills. The Buenos Aires city has a landfill which is under control, but it's collapsed. Sorry. Here you can see how the waste is increasing annually. This drop is due to the crisis we suffered in 2002, and then annually is increasing. There is a funny thing here. In 2005, a law was passed in Buenos Aires by which by 2015 we should have zero waste emission, and you can see we are not achieving that. Then the goal, as this is mandatory by the Energy Secretariat, is first invert the pyramid. Today is the reduce and reusage, recycling, energy recovery and disposal is in this sense, and they want to invert that in order to get a minimum disposal in the coming years. Vis-a-vis the energy industry, the Argentinian energy is highly dependent, the matrix is highly dependent on hydrocarbons. 90% of the matrix is from oil and gas. The rest is like 8% on water generation and some nuclear. Renewable energy could be 1-2%. We are suffering a dramatic drop in the oil and gas reserves. That's why government is trying to encourage the renewable energies, and for that they are reducing today the subsidies that they were given to population for tariff on gas and electricity. We were paying prices ridiculous for what we were consuming. Today that is being reverted. There is, as I said, a firm intention from government to start migrating to renewable energies, and the financial instruments are appearing not only from government but also for international organisms. Some legal and regulatory framework. We have a national law for biofuels and also a law for promoting the renewable energies. All these laws are from past years, but only now are being applied. A good program is the PERMER, which incentivizes the creation of renewable energy centers near the rural markets, and also some tenders that were opened by the ENARSA, which is the state-owned energy company, by which they had a tender to buy megawatts coming from renewable energies, wind, solar, and biomass. And also there are individual actions from different provinces like Chubut, Neuquén, San Juan, Mendoza, in order to promote the investment for renewable energies in the region. Here you can see the map of Argentina and the potential for the solar radiation. We have the Cuyo and Northwest zone where we have excellent conditions for solar investment. The same for the wind energy. Almost 70% of the surface of Argentina had winds above 6 meters per second, and considering La Patagonia, which had the winds far beyond to the 10 meters per second. Some key improvements, some of them are in their way, some others are a little bit behind. We are in the need of a regulatory framework. The government is working in the long-term institutional and legally stability in order to give clear rules for investors, financial structures, as I said. There is a need of a strong investment in electricity distribution network. The grid is very, very weak, as you see in the Patagonia region where the wind is. So there is a need of investment in the grids over there. Another policy is to promote the decentralization of energy generation in order to create small centers of either solar or wind generation near to the small towns. And the government also is working in a long-term strategy to implement programs for investment, for private investment, and also signing some cooperations agreement with the technology owners and companies like countries like Germany in order to promote the development of technology. The main thing that we need to work on is the change of mind. Mainly, we are totally dependent on fossil fuels. There was, as mentioned before, a public tender by which almost 800 megawatts were awarded in the range, very high prices, 121 and 134 US dollar per megawatt. If we compare this to the region, Brazil and Uruguay are paying prices in the range of 60 and 70 per megawatt. So we are working in new tenders in order to capture more investment, but in lower prices. And you also see the prices for solar generation extremely high. This is a graph of the investment in renewable energies in the region. You see the drop after the crisis in 2008 and how the trend is recovering for investment. Why Argentina? Why investing in Argentina? Mainly in solid waste. The landfill capacity is collapsed. There is a strong position from the government in order to close dumps. The municipalities are realizing that they are not anymore dependent on the landfills, because today no municipality wants the waste from others in the region. So they are trying to implement different solutions. The National Secretary of Environment is financing new technological solutions and education for the population. There is a huge diversity for project development. We have the big urban locations and also small rural towns. The regionalization of the projects are also under analysis because of the economic viability. And we are very strong working with IFAS in order to implement circular economy concepts, not only at national level, but also at provincial and municipal level. Regarding the renewable energies, I mentioned that before, 70% of the territory has excellent conditions for wind, the same for solar generation. Renewable energies, even though the country doesn't have a goal or a challenge as some other countries, we are in the trend of increasing the investment in the renewable energies. There is also good conditions for private investment. I said higher prices, there is tax incentives, and also international banks are funding the different projects like the International Development Bank, the United Nations, and also the National Bank for the Development in Brazil. We have a very diversified geography that could benefit implementation of different kind of projects, and human resources are also a key factor because we have very good professionals also and qualified manpower. And last but not least, Argentina is a wonderful place for. I had some pictures, but I don't know, I lost them. We can then see them. And as our relationship with IFAS, we are partners and generating new projects, and this is an opportunity also for the companies. We are advisors in La Matanza. La Matanza is the biggest municipality in the Buenos Aires area. They have 1.7 million inhabitants, and they created a project, an energetic project in 2 phases. Phase 1 is now about to begin, is the installation of a sorting facility to process the waste. And we are working in the tender for the second phase, which is the acquiring of different technologies in order to generate mainly electricity. We are about to sign an agreement with the National Secretary of Environmental. It's a program financed by the United Nations that will create a waste management program for 40 municipalities, including acquisition of 9 facilities. And we hopefully will be involved in the leading of that project. Hopefully next year we will be able to present that here. And we also working in some proposals for zero emission concepts in different municipalities. We are under negotiations with some provinces for implementation of concepts like the Moorbach we just visited yesterday. And also we are in conversation with private investors for trying to finance all these kind of projects. That was it. Thank you very much for your attention, and thank you.